Hi, and welcome to episode 29. I left my agent. I don't know why this makes me laugh.
Oops, I left my agent.
Yeah.
Right.
Uh-oh.
All right. It took us a little bit to wake up this morning. It's just one of those, we haven't done this in a while. So
Yeah.
it's been a lot of episodes and a lot of things going on, but this, I do miss that we haven't sat down to do an Illo chat recording. So hi, Sunny. Even though I see you almost every day.
I know. We just haven't recorded our
Yeah,
visits.
I know. It's been a lot. It has been a whirlwind of stuff
Yeah.
since what, in the last 3 or 4 months. I feel like I'm like, whoa.
Yeah,
it's
for you.
finally slowing down a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, me too, because I'm trying to help jump
you
in
too,
when I
because you were
can.
with me the whole time. You have been my hand holder through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So let me, because you have huge news, which you already heard in the title, let me jump in and just say where I'm doing so I can step out and let you take over. We the book came out, and I had my physical book launch party at the Dancing Bear, and it was way better than I expected it. I cannot believe how it was actually fun. I enjoyed it. I saw family that came from Miami. I'm telling you, they traveled here, and family that I had here in Maryland, and they made it like a little party after for me. It was really lovely. It was really nice. And then I had a friend who I had not seen for 22 years, and she traveled from another state to surprise me that day. It was incredible.
Yeah. That's so cool.
Yes, and you were there. I had friends that I know online that I have only met online through Illo Chat or through the SCBWI, and they showed up, and it was just it was heartwarming. It was more than I expected. And then we had local people, even though the weather was terrible. On top of that, the weather, people were saying that they were getting these kind of like warnings on the phone about really imminent bad weather. And so I didn't think anyone was going to show up.
There's bad rain and thunderstorms. Yeah.
The store said that about 35 people showed up, and we had I had book signing after that. My daughter wore her a bongo outfit. The reading
that was adorable.
It really worked out so nicely. I was super happy with it. The virtual book launch we had after was not, which is weird. What's weird? I expected the physical book launch to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, bad weather, we're asking people to travel, we're asking people to take a day, a few hours of their day to come to a store where they're probably going to be tempted to buy other things too. But the virtual party would have been just sit down in front of your computer, click go, eat a sandwich while you're watching. It doesn't really matter. And it was crickets. We had 2 people show up at the virtual party. So that was like, what? And what was funny is at the virtual book launch, we had planned to discuss, which we did, the behind the scenes of the book. I showed the previous book dummies. We went in depth into what the story, how it changed and all that. So it had a lot of like behind the scenes things, because I knew the audience that we thought was going to go to the virtual book launch was going to be more artists, because that's the community. And no, we had nothing. Crickets. 2 people. I appreciate very much the 2 people that showed up. It was I forget, Judith and and Sunny. That was
her name's, how did I forget? Same name.
Because of the spelling, I want to say Sunny. I don't know, but it is Sunny. And she sent me those beautiful cookies. So those were our 2 members that were there. And you know what? We had a virtual book lunch party with just them. And that's so
fun. It was
fun. It was nice. But I was definitely surprised and disappointed a little bit about the turnout there. But
I don't think we promoted it very well.
Maybe.
I talked about it a little bit. I mean, we had a few things on social media, but not I don't think there was as much promotion for that as you had for the physical
Yes, and it
book
was just
launch.
us, where the book, the physical one was being promoted by the bookstore. So that was local stuff too. So, but then you introduced me to this podcast, which I'm liking a lot, and
I
it's
still haven't
Writers with
listened.
Wrinkles. Oh, so you introduced me to it, and you haven't listened.
Yeah.
It is called Writers with Wrinkles, and I love it. I love it.
Cool.
And it reminds me of us. Like,
Oh, cool.
because
Yeah,
in
I
one
need
of
to
the
listen.
episodes, one of the ladies is like has all these ideas, and they're like, let's do this, and let's do that, and let's do a show. And then the other one is like, okay, because she's the one that does the stuff, and like one comes up with ideas, and the other one is the magic maker and makes it happen. And I was like, oh, that's so us.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you crazy? And then you make it happen. So when in that podcast, they said that they had book signings where no one showed up, like nobody, or it was just a book reading, and just the friend from the podcast was sitting there in the audience, and that was it. So I'm going, okay, it happens, so it's all right. What else has been happening? I started doing the school visits. I contacted a few of my kids' older teachers. I should say previous teachers, because they're not old. They're just they're elementary.
They're still teaching.
They're still teaching. And I asked them if I could have like a practice run, because I don't know why that thing was scaring me so much. Like,
it was.
More than anything else, going into a classroom with kids. Oh my gosh, I cannot tell you how fun that is. It is actually, I enjoy it so much. I send them the little bongo ears that you designed, by the way. You're the one that came up with the idea for it.
I just talked about it. You made it happen.
And I was like, that's such a great idea, a band with the ears. And I send it to them. And when I show up and all these little kids are wearing their bongo ears, and they're all excited, and their ears are flopping, I get so happy. So that has been lovely. I've done a few visits, so now I'm not nervous anymore. I read it. I know how to like keep them engaged, and I am ready for author visits now. What else so the book is out, and the marketing things, my publicist had a few things lined up. I did a couple of kind of like virtual events. I did one with Books of Wonder. I'm going to be in Virginia to sign book signings in Virginia at a bookstore. Awesome Come is coming in DC. And I'm going to be on a debut author panel. But it's not just.
Are they all books. Children's books?
No. It's just debut author panel. Yeah, it's a it's like a nice combination of YA, middle grade. I think it's just YA. I can't remember the everybody that's going to be there, but that's in
then
DC.
I guess that would still be in the children's book genre.
I think so. I can't remember if anybody has anything other than YA. But anyway, it's Awesome Come. It's kind of like a Comic-Con. I have never been to one.
Yeah, I've never been. It's in DC.
Never. Yeah. This one's in DC, and you're going to go with me.
I will. I'm not going to cosplay.
No. but I love it, because we're going to take a weekend out of this, and we're going to make a little getaway, which will be fun. And maybe we'll do something live, or I don't know what we'll do, but at least we're going to have fun.
See how it works, like what we have available there.
Yeah,
I'm excited just to see the Artist Alley there. I want to go see
there's some nice events. I saw something that like you paint something too, like it will be something hands-on in one of them. There's so many things going on that weekend. It's an entire weekend. I don't know, I'll be exhausted. And then in the fall, I am going to be in the Latinx festival, and it's going to be a draw, that's
really cool.
I'm so excited about that. It's like the audience, and this is like this televised to the schools. By then the school is back on. And they'll say like, draw someone happy, and we got to draw someone happy. I think it's like 3 artists or something like that. I have the details, but I haven't read the whole thing yet. So that's what I have scheduled. And I had to say, it has been exhausting. It's been a lot on top of life, and it's always been something going on with the book that I'm pretty tired right now.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to maybe taking a little bit of a break and drawing and coming up with new ideas and something new for my agent, and then just slowing down a little bit. Oh, well, I'll tell you later on.
Do you
I
want to
did
do
plan
summer
something.
folio?
No, do you want to
No.
do it later? Yeah, we'll do it later towards the mid, because I do want to discuss something that we're going to
Okay.
discuss later. Summer folio, but
I
I'll give the
mean,
details
okay.
later. Yeah,
Okay.
so that I'll bounce back
Leave
and
something
forth.
for later.
Yes. Yeah. So looking
Yeah.
forward to summer folio, but I'll talk about it later on in the episode.
Yeah.
And now you have some huge news.
Yeah. I mean, I already kind of said it.
Yeah, in the title.
And it's funny how when you sign with an agent, like you announce it on social media and like there's a post and you're like, oh, I'm repped by, everyone's excited for you and you're announcing it to the world. And then when you leave, it's just kind of a very quiet,
It's like sneaking out.
you just remove their name from all your all your contact information. And it's just so
like a breakup.
subtle. Yeah, it's very subtle and quiet. You don't like announce it. I mean, maybe some people do, I don't know. But so like when I made the decision, something that I've been thinking about for a while. And then when it happened, it's kind of a, you're thinking about this and it builds and builds. And then when you finally do it, you feel relief because you're like, oh, okay. It's almost like when you're questioning it. For me, it like really stopped me from wanting to be creative because I'm like, okay, what if I don't want to stay here, then why would I try to start new things here?
That's
Like
true.
if it's not going to be a place where I want to, continue. And I don't oh, we didn't anyway. So yeah, so it was a very quiet thing and it just kind of happened and then you just get on with your life and you're like, okay, well now I don't have an agent and what's happening. And but I think when you're thinking about these things, it's before you make that final decision, it is really scary to think, okay, this is kind of a secure place and I, whether or not I'm like totally happy, then you're like, oh no, I'm going to give this up and then try to figure out where I want to go after this. So it's still a big decision and it's a little scary.
I know it was causing you a lot of stress to make the decision. Like you were already thinking about it for a while and you were not, kind of happy with the situations and it wasn't like, oh, there's a problem. It just wasn't working out.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't what I was looking for.
Yes.
And you don't know that until you're there, until you experience it.
The thing I guess if you think about, okay, so you have an agent and it's kind of like you have a boat. You're in the ocean and you have a boat. Okay, so you're not longer sinking and having to swim and paddle around.
Yeah.
But if your boat is not going to move you to where you're trying to go, then it's still not helpful.
Yeah, if your boat is just sitting there.
So you have to jump off
and no one's
and
paddling.
start swimming towards the next boat and hope that boat is going to take you where you want to go. Yeah. That's the whole idea of a partnership. And if it's not taking you where you want to go, then that's not the right boat for you to be on. Correct. So yes, you felt safe because you have an agent, but it wasn't getting you to where you wanted to go. Correct. So yes. Yeah. Jump in. Here, floaties.
yeah, I got my floaties back on. Treading water. So I guess we were going to discuss. So I mean, I kind of discussed why I left. I'm not going to go into like super detail, but yeah, it wasn't the relationship I had with my agent wasn't what I was looking for me. Or the not even the relationship. That's the wrong word. More like
partnership.
It wasn't taking me where I wanted to go. And I think, and it wasn't personality. It wasn't, we got along well, but it's like, if you have a career path you want to take and then the agent you're with can't, you realize they probably can't get you there at that point in time, then there's no point in saying. It's just going to hold you back.
It's wasting your time.
Yes,
And
right,
and
correct.
there's, you know, they have room for another client,
Right.
but it is wasting your time. I do notice that after the you left your agent, you are more creative, and you're actually like going like, oh, you're submitting,
Yeah.
you're
I
actually.
felt more, yeah, I felt more, I did. I felt a lot more creative and motivated. I think that
Yes.
was it. I felt more motivated because I was like, now I'm not thinking about just myself. Before I was thinking about myself and my agent when I had to make decisions, but now I'm just thinking about myself and I feel more creative that way,
Yeah.
in that general, in that way. Um, so it just so happened that when I left, it was in May, and that is also the same time that a lot of other agent related things were happening.
That is true. That is true.
A bunch of people were let go from an agency, several agencies. There was an agent that was let go, and then all of her clients were let go and not given new agents. So it just kind of, there's been a lot of agent things going on. But what I like about this is that it brings then people discuss it more. Because
Hmm.
when last year, when there was a mass exodus of editors, it made people reevaluate the publishing world in
Yes.
light of
Yeah.
that, and what's kind of practices that are going on. And there's a lot of practices that are going on with agents as well that are just not really discussed. And it's, if we don't talk about it, they won't get better. And if
Right.
people aren't discussing how they're being treated, or how things are not working out the way they want, then things won't change. And so I think it's really good to discuss these topics. But for us in this episode, I think we want to focus on what you should think about when you're looking for an agent, because I feel like I know better now, and Olga too, because she's
Mhm.
been with her agent, what we would look for when we're looking for a new agent.
It does. It's almost like I'll just try to come up with an analogy. That I don't have an analogy for
You
this
don't need
one.
to.
Other than you know more when you're in it and actually going through, and then more things happen, and then you realize, oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this section or of it. Um, yeah, but
Yeah.
the list that we gave in a previous episode is remains the same. It's still the same thing. But a lot of these things that you look for in an agent, sometimes you don't know until you're actually in the relationship or in the partnership with the agent, and you see how it actually works, and how you work, and how you're inspired or not inspired, uh, without saying, the reasons why you left.
Yeah.
There's certain ways that you can get someone to be creative, and some of the ways that you can just tie their hands and kind of like, it's not conductive to getting work out there. Or you realize, wait, I don't really want to. If you don't want to write, or you're not into
Yeah.
writing yet,
Or
and
if
what
you
you
want to
want is
draw
more.
more, if you want to illustrate more.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like we're in a weird place, not a weird place, but we're in a different situation than authors, because authors, when they get an agent, they really need an agent to help them get access to publishers, to large publishers. Illustrators do as well, but illustrators have this kind of strain, no, I mean, I can't think of words right now. Illustrators are in this kind of in between place where we can go, there are literary agents that will sign us, and then there are art reps who will sign us, and then there are also like,
Publishers that don't require us to have
correct, yeah,
agents to give you work.
yes.
Yeah, so it is
So
flexible.
we have more choices for representation than an author would. um and it's deciding what kind of agent will fit your career goals. That's basically it. And knowing what to look for with that agency, and how to know if they're a good fit for you. If you want to write, then, and you only want to write and illustrate your own work, and you don't want to illustrate other people's work, then of course a literary agent is perfect for you.
Yes.
but you would, we were going to talk about what to look for. And and so if you like to write and you want to write and illustrate your own books or just write, then you would definitely go with a literary agent, but you would want to look at what kind of books are they selling. And we have said that before, but like, are they selling author illustrator books? Are they repping author illustrators? What kind of publishers are those author illustrators signing with? Are they just small publishers who you could actually probably get to without an agent? Are they is that author, or do they have author illustrators who are also just illustrating? Or do they have author illustrators who are just authors? You just writing? You know, you can tell that by looking at all their announcements.
I feel, and we don't know this from Adam, like I really, really don't know. It's probably been around for a long time, but for us, at least for what I was talking to you the other day, it feels like the whole author illustrator thing together. It's a pretty recent thing, recent probably like what, 15 years. I'm not talking like yesterday. But so the literary agencies seem to be like, okay, and I have illustrators. Like these are all my authors. Oh, and I also have illustrators. So there's like a little window for the illustrators to just sit in. Not all of the agencies are like that. So, some are more actively promoting their illustrators than others. But that's you hit the nail on the head. If you want to illustrate only, you don't really need to get a literary agent.
Right.
Yeah, I think you would be better off with a rep or on your own.
Yeah. Because there are some literary agencies that promote their illustrators.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the illustrators that are with them like really well, and they get them a lot of work. But then there are some literary agencies that authors are their primary goal, and that's the way you can see that is
I think in some websites you can see
when their how they're displayed on the website,
and the
basically.
ratio on their website. For example, you have like, oh, it's 60 authors and 10 illustrators. Like,
Yeah.
and these are my 10 collected illustrators. And there are other agencies that are like, these are my illustrators, and they are a massive amount of talent right there to choose from.
Yes. And
But that's more
also,
to
even
compete
on
with.
their social media, you can tell if they're promoting their illustrators on social media, or if they're just promoting their authors or just books that they've produced. Because if you're not, we're also in a different place as illustrators. If we're not being promoted on Instagram, mainly like Instagram, then we're not going to be seen. And so
and that's the thing too.
authors don't have to worry about that as much, because the authors are just submitting manuscripts. But illustrators, if you're just submitting like example, like slide decks or sample sheets to publishers like once or twice a year, it's not the same as constantly like turning out art on your
and
social
showing,
media.
look what my illustrators can do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with the illustration, it's visual. It's not like a picture of our face and a list of things will do. Like you got to see the artwork.
Yeah.
And not all social medias, or not just sitting on the website, will do it.
Yeah.
Unless I only know of Instagram as the main thing for illustrators to, and art directors where they hang out. I'm sure there's other places, but that one seems to be the most I don't know, that we know of, the most active one for illustrators at this time.
And to me, that's a red flag. If I'm gonna sign with an agency now, that's the first thing I'll look for, is how well are they promoting on social media? Because if they're not promoting the illustrators, then I realize, okay, that's their priority then is not illustrators. Their priority is authors and books.
Yeah, because it's a different world, and maybe how everything in publishing kind of slow to move, and maybe it just take a while to jump on the
Yeah.
wagon for them to be in social media. But when we talk to art directors, and when we listen to them, and when they say, yeah, we go to our Instagram to look for artists, and it's just like, then why are we not there?
Yeah.
Why are the agencies not there showing
Hmm.
off the illustrators, going like,
Yeah.
hey, these are the ones I have, look at this artwork. It just seems like there's a disconnect there. and
Yeah.
and
I
it's
I
a
do think
wasted opportunity. Sorry, it's a
it
wasted
is.
opportunity. That's
It
what it
is.
is.
It is. I do, but I do think, but like you said, I think in some cases it's lack of experience with illustrators. They maybe this is a new thing for the agency, and so maybe they don't understand how this works for illustrators. But it's very easy to see what other agencies are doing on social media and how successful they are with the people that they're working with.
Yeah.
So,
So
um,
maybe we should start.
what to look for.
If you have left your agent, or you're still, let's just go one more time over what you should look for if you have just left your agent, or you're thinking of leaving your agent, or you're looking for an agent. We're just going to run down list of things to look for that we covered in a previous episode about agents. But this one is a little more peppered with now I am experience from being with an agent.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we'll start here then.
So we kind of covered how often our clients how look if you're looking at an agency or an agent, look at how often their clients are getting work. How often are they if they're getting their illustrators illustration work, and also authors
So
books.
say you're approached by an agent and they're like, hey, then, they're offering you representation. So take the name of the agent and look them up on Publishers
Oh
Weekly,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
so you can
Hmm.
see how many deals they have come up with, how many illustrators they read, because they will say the book announcements, when they do like announcing this book that's coming up, the author is blah blah blah, represented by blah blah blah, and then the illustrator represented by, and then look up, so you can
Hmm.
see how many deals they do a year, how often they get actual deals for their illustrators.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
S
the next one is a big one for me, because I am the one kind of person that if I send an email or I send any work to my agent, the one thing I appreciate the most is a simple, I got it. Like I received your email. It
just an
wherever,
acknowledgement, just an
yes.
acknowledgement. Yeah.
And that works for anything, because if then you're not sitting down waiting for, did they get it? Did I send it? Is it sitting in the outbox and I never sent that manuscript or the book dummy?
Yeah.
So a simple, I got it, because it does take them a couple of weeks to get back. I mean, they have to read it, they have to edit it, or if they're going to edit, and they have many of them. So it's unnerving when you send something and for a couple of weeks you don't hear anything about it. So a simple, I got it, I love it. That is a huge for me. I need
Yeah.
communication.
Um, will they be partners in guiding your career? And I think in order to answer this question, you need to know what you want for your career. And
Oh, that's
that
good.
was
That's a
kind
good
of
plan.
I think that's well, that's why I decided to leave, because I realized, okay, of course I want to author illustrate. I think that would be lovely, but I also want to illustrate, and I don't want to go I want to be able to illustrate several books in between author illustrating. Or maybe actually, I think for me, my primary goal would be illustrating. I'm not. I also, my primary goal is money. So I
I think
wanted to
that's
be.
like a given in everybody's
I
career.
wanted to be able to earn an income, rather like a steady income. And the only way to do that is to produce, and the only way to do that is to illustrate.
And I think that's something that it's perfectly fine if your career goals change as you are walking this road, and you're like, wait a minute, maybe I don't want to write. Maybe I don't really, like it. if you are writing all the time. Like it's just coming, and you're just keep having ideas and having ideas, and they're just sitting in a pile waiting for you to have the time to do a book dummy out of them or to sell them as manuscripts. If writing is not the thing you want to do, that's perfectly fine too.
Mhm.
You came into this as an illustrator, and I think that's when you know, like the idea of having the author illustrator book is awesome, and it's great to have both skills and to be able to do them both. But you are going to love one more than the other,
Yeah.
and if you realize that halfway through, then that's fine. Then you change and you look for a partner that's going to take you in the direction you want to go to now.
Mhm. Um,
This is a big one, and you did that,
yeah.
and someone did that for you.
Yeah, actually several people have come to me now that they saw that I left. And so
And it wasn't
top
just you that left.
no, yes, it wasn't several illustrators have left. And really the main reason that we all left is that we weren't getting work. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to be with an agent is I don't if I'm finding work for myself, that's great, but I really would like to have a partner to help me find more work or help me get better deals. And
Mhm.
I didn't that wasn't happening for me. Um so it is really good to talk with other artists that the agent represents and find out how are they, how often they're getting book deals or how often they're getting work. And the thing is, even if you're with an agent, it doesn't mean you have to get just book deals. There can be there's many things you can do as an illustrator. Um, but not all agents will rep all of those things. So by talking to other artists that they represent. And you can ask the agent if they can refer you to people, or you can just cold contact them. It's their choice to talk to you or not.
Right.
Um, you can also ask those artists what the agent is representing them for. Like if they're what work they've helped them get or represented them with.
Yeah, then it is like we said at the beginning of this episode. You know more once you're going through it. In this podcast, that's what we've been doing. We talk as we're going through this journey. Um, if you're talking to someone who's actually represented by or have been represented by this, whatever agent you're looking at or rep, then you will get more of an active insight um, to the relationship and what you can expect from this agent or art rep. We covered these next few, so I don't think we need to.
Yeah,
That's
we
we
already
actually
talked
started
about
out of
that. That's how
this.
we started. We started.
Yeah, we went off a
So
bit. So if we can talk a little bit about the submission practices, if you are looking for an agent, um, make the decision. Are you looking for a literary agent or for an art rep?
yeah. And we have talked about usually literary agents take a smaller percentage. Usually art reps take a higher percentage.
Right. But literary agents will represent you in in
Yeah.
books, and art reps can rep you in other deals that are
Hmm.
outside of the book industry, outside of publishing,
Hmm.
candles, toy making, something
And you
else.
can have multiple agents. You can have
You can have both.
you can have an art rep who only represents you in other areas and then a literary agent who
Yeah.
represents you with books.
As far as I know, not two literary agents. I mean, that would be a conflict of interest. Two different
Yeah.
markets, complete different markets.
Yeah.
Like you can have a licensing agent and you can have a literary agent. You can
Yeah.
have an art rep. And again, you don't need to have, if you're an illustrator, you don't need to have representation. It's good to have it because you can get more money in your deals. Your rights are protected more, and you can have access to
To
traditional,
larger publishers.
yeah,
Yeah.
and larger markets. But
Yeah.
you can also, as we have been going down the list of publishers, there's a lot of publishers that don't require um for you to be represented to be able to
Correct.
submit your work. So
Yeah.
send them your portfolio. You got nothing to lose.
So I learned this recently because I'm making a list after this all happened. I decided, okay, I'm going to make a list of publishers that accept illustrators who are not represented. And so SCBWI in their, is it the big book or the book? They have
That one has
a,
a good one.
yeah, they have a listing of publishers on well of kidlit publishers and children's book publishers. And every they have the title of the publisher, I mean the name of the company, and then they even have the names of art directors in there. They have the names of so but then at the bottom they'll list how you submit, either a website or an email of how you can submit to them. And then they'll also say whether or not you need representation to submit to them for authors and illustrators. It's a really great list. So I've gone through that and I'm putting like the ones that fit for me that I would like to contact in an Excel spreadsheet. And then I I plan to submit art samples, and I have started to them. However, they request you submit. So every single publisher has a different submission process, and it'll be on their website. Some of them want emails with a PDF. Some of them want, and the PDF might have to be a specific size, like file size. Some want just your website. Some want physical. I was surprised at this. Some of them said physical only. Very rare, but it was like they wanted mailed postcards basically, and which is cool. It's nice to see that that's
That
happening
some of
again.
it is coming back. Yeah, I know.
I was surprised at that, and so you have to look up every single publisher and find out what their submissions are and if they have have contact information and everything on
You
that.
know, this sidetrack because I always get sidetracked. When you said it's nice to see that it's coming back. Yesterday I had an event for one of my kids' school events, and there was a buffet and people are eating and like putting the and I felt like this is so nice to be able
Yeah,
to partake in a meal with other people
yeah,
again. And here we are, like grabbing cucumbers with our
uh,
little, the tongs, and it's just
yeah,
like no one is all freaked out about like,
yeah,
oh, we cannot have a meal at the same table and all that. It was so nice. And
yeah,
it's just, we are social creatures, and I was missing it. So even though I'm like a bit shy in big groups and stuff, this was a lovely event. And it was ironically, it was like Thanksgiving, kind of like a Thanksgiving meal here
oh
in June, but it was lovely. So yeah, I'm glad to see that some publishing houses are saying, yeah, you can send postcards again, and some of them are going back. Not all of them. A lot of people have stayed working from home, but it's nice. I've missed it. I missed one more thing. Moving away from your agent, either if you're starting to look for one or you've decided to leave your agent, and is instead of looking at it as a, oh no, I am back at square one, or I'm back in the trenches, or whatever, is actually an exciting prospect. You were a lot more excited now. Like, I have seen that you are more excited now than you were when you had the agent, and you were like not, feeling creative to produce work. Now you're like,
yeah.
I already sent it to 6 publishers, and I've already done this, and I'm like, yes. Hi,
Yeah.
Sunny, I missed you. This is good. It is. It's exciting to have a goal, and I think that's what you were missing, I guess, that your goals had changed.
Yeah, and what I wanted was literally like was a partner, but also a partner who, yeah, who would kind of maybe also mentor me,
Hmm.
and yeah, and give me goals and give me guidance on where they think I should go. But I felt like that was where the disconnect was, is that, but it, you know what, honestly, I don't expect a literary agent to be able to mentor an illustrator unless they have some experience in that area. So, but I didn't realize how important that was for me until I landed there. And so when I left, then I was able to think about, like I said, think about my own, okay, what do I need to do to get where I want to go? When I was with the agent, I felt like I just felt, yeah, very kind of stunted. Like I don't know where I'm
Yeah.
going. I don't know what I'm doing.
But that's a good question to ask. Say
Yeah.
how hands-on, how are we going to discuss where, I mean, they are there to guide your career. So how is this guide going to be? Like,
Hmm.
can we have a meeting once a month? Can we have like kind of like figure out, okay, these are the projects I'm going to be working on. When I have an idea, how would do I send it to you? Can I develop it more? Is it going to be this list of ideas and you pick which one I'm gonna take on, or can I just go with my heart and just develop the idea, and then you can either look at it and work with it and tell me there's merit here, there's no merit here, or maybe say something like, this is a great idea for a book, but I would take it this way because these books are not selling well now, or something like that's a partnership. That's
Hmm.
not so much a mentorship like you're saying.
Or
I'm not going
yeah,
to teach you,
partnership.
but
Yeah.
yeah, because the better that you do, the more deals they're going to get, and the more money they're going to make, and the more money you're going to make. It is a business partnership. It's not a friendship. It's not like a,
Yeah.
let's just hang out kind of thing.
Yeah.
The whole goal is to get work.
Right. And the more work I get, the more money they make.
Right,
So I
right.
feel like to me it's really sad when illustrators are signed and they're just sitting there, because it's a wasted asset. No one's that they could be earning the company money. Um and they're
I
not.
think it's fair to say here one thing that what you also, and cut this off if you don't want. I think it's fair to say that one thing that was turned you off as well is to see how many new people were being signed onto the agency. Because when you see another and another and another, and there's like 60 and 65 and 70, and you're like, wait, I haven't
Yeah.
gotten
No,
any
that's
start
true.
yet, but then they're just collecting more clients. And I get it. Some clients are not working and they're not producing, others are taking a hiatus, so they need to keep working. But how much can you take on
Hmm.
before you are so full of clients that you don't have time for any of the clients? So when you are submitting something, how long does it take to get back to you? you know do they have assistants? Do they have work? Is it, are you more in touch with their assistants than your actual agent? Like, you know I would want my one-on-one. You can have,
Hmm.
like, have all the assistants you want, but I want my my agent to be my source of communication, unless of course there's an emergency or something like that. But so all of these things you can literally ask these questions before you sign on. And if
Yeah.
it's not, then move on. It's okay to move on. As long, there's contracts, depends on the contract, how long you're supposed to give them on the initial year.
Yeah, it was
Don't sign a contract for life. Just in case.
yeah.
Don't sign something like, you'll be my client for the rest of your remaining life.
Um yeah, yeah, that's definitely kind of a red flag.
So how about if we talk about what you're excited about coming up? It's summer. We're almost done with
Oh
school.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, we're almost done with school. For all the parents out there, yay, we made it through another school year.
Yeah,
Um,
finally.
yeah, some years are not easy. Some years are harder than others. So if you're a parent and you made it through another school year, yay.
Yay.
Summer's here. Um, what are you looking forward to this summer, or
uh
the rest of your year? I would say until our next
Summer
episode.
folio.
Well, no, that's what I'm excited about.
um
How about not having to wake up at a specific schedule? I mean, we still have to
yeah.
get up. There's like things that have to get done, but it doesn't have to be like, hurry up, you gotta get them to school at this time, or get them out the door, or hey, did you wake up? None of that stuff.
Yeah, always
All of those
looking
little
forward to
battles.
that. um but I think my son is going to have a summer job, so I probably will see how that works.
Driving.
He needs to get his license so he can drive himself. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to summer and not having to stick to such a strict schedule. Well, I don't, but it a lot of times that makes me less productive. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that is why I know that
So
I'm
I don't
going
know
towards
about
that for
that.
you, but I,
um
I don't know why, but I feel like we earned this summer break.
mm,
This year, I don't, it felt really, really heavy and hard, and it's like hard to push forward.
yeah.
Didn't you
Yeah.
feel it like that? Maybe it's just me, I don't know, but
No, yeah.
felt
No, I
like I
felt
was
it for you.
rolling, like I was rolling a boulder uphill. Like I'm almost there, I'm almost there. It's summer. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I am ready. Like I'm not even going on any vacations or anything, but I feel
No.
like I
Yeah,
am.
we don't have any vacations
It's
planned.
yeah.
Well, we have Awesome Con. That's
Okay,
it.
okay. There's a few more things to do, which but that one's gonna be fun. That's gonna be
Yeah.
fun. And all of them have been fun. It's just it's hard to schedule all these things while you're still managing a family, while you're still managing a kind of like a time crunch and schedules for other
Mhm.
people as well. It
Yeah.
gets a little bit dicey when you're like, I gotta do this, but I have to be here, but someone's having surgery this day, and I gotta be in two or three places at once.
Yeah.
You're stretching yourself thin, and it wears on you. It just wears on you. And on top of that, you're trying to be creative, and being creative is not, it's crazy. Someone sees an artist and they're like, oh, they don't do anything all day. It is very difficult to be creative when like I told my husband, for example, it's like my job is 24/7 because it's not like I can sit in front of a computer and ticky tacky all day and I put my 8 hours and I'm done and I move on, because I can ticky tacky all day and nothing produces and there's nothing coming out, and then I go take a shower, or I'm doing dishes, and or I'm picking someone up, and then
Yeah.
all of these ideas come on. I'm like, oh, I need to write them down. Now, this is it. This is how I fix this manuscript. I took a shower. And you know how showers seem to do it for me. I don't know why. I go in there, and that's why I have that aqua pad that a friend gave me. And when I run out of pages, I'm buying another one. In
Yeah.
fact, I should buy a bigger one. It's crazy. I don't know why that is the
Your
case.
whole wall is going to be an aqua pad in the shower.
And I come out, I rip the pages, and I send you a picture. I'm like this, and you cannot even make out
I
what I
don't know
wrote
what
there
it
because
says.
like chicken scratch.
Yeah.
But when an idea comes on, I don't know. I get so excited that I'm like, oh, I gotta do this. And I started, what is that graphic novel thing that I'm doing early readers? I'm like, I've never done this. Let's do it. And it
Hmm.
might be something, it might not be something, who knows? But I'm into it now. So for 2 days I've been working on this thing so I can show it to my agent and I'll be like, look what I made, something shiny. But I do feel that this year was heavy, at least for me. And I thank you. I am so thankful that you were there with me this entire thing. So you're tired as well. I know because you helped me so much. Um, it was my first time getting a book out traditionally, and it went well. It was exciting, but I'm ready for next projects. I'm ready for another project. I want something new to come out. um Marketing wasn't fun. I'm gonna have to say that wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Summer's coming, and with this break, I don't want to get less productive, because it starts to happen. It's, you
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, yeah, we take a break, and it's great to take a break, but too long for me personally, too long of a break becomes stagnant, and then it's really hard for me to get started back up. So that's
Yeah.
why I don't like to take too long breaks. Like if I take an entire summer to not draw anything, it'll be until probably December when I actually start. If I don't start right away, like it's kind of like exercising. If I take a break, I'm not doing it again for a few
Yeah.
months. It takes me a
Yeah.
while.
No, I feel that because I did draw last year, but not a ton, not like it wasn't a consistent practice. And the longer my iPad sits,
Yeah.
the less I can just jump back in. It's really hard. And so now now I'm looking for illustration projects, and I'm struggling just to make it, make myself draw. Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
you got to do it.
And you've
It's
been
hard.
looking for a project that will excite you enough, like you're looking
Yeah.
for authors to send you the books uh that are going to excite you, that you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to draw this. And you've got a
Yeah.
few that I'm like, that would be really cool to illustrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll get there. You'll
I
find
just don't like
something.
my prices. It's fine.
It's the prices have to, no, I'm sorry. If you want
Yeah.
a book illustrated, I don't understand what it is that they want if they don't want to pay for it. That not, you're not worth your
I mean,
time.
no, it's fine. They just
It's
don't.
like,
There are people that will charge those prices. That's what I
yes,
like about. I mean, it's just like working with a small publisher or a large publisher. A small publisher can only afford to pay you so much. Is definitely going to pay you less than a large publisher. So and there are illustrators who just they want to get a book published, so they're willing to take the lower rates with a small publisher. And it's just the same way in self-publishing. There are
it is.
authors who only have a small budget, then they're going to have to work with illustrators who charge that, who haven't done that many books, who aren't as experienced.
Or who will be just straight on, here is the illustration that is illustrating exactly what's on the book, and
Yeah.
it's not really pushing the book to be more than it could be, and
Right.
exciting, and
Yeah.
different angles and different, like
Yeah.
you do get what you pay for in some instances. So it has to be well compensated. If not, I mean, this is a lot of work. If we're
It
talking an
is.
entire book is not a one single illustration.
Yeah.
uh but yeah, I hope that you find a project that excites you and you get
Yeah.
back on it. I miss seeing you when you were coming up with stuff, and like, hey, what about this? Like, there was
Oh,
excitement. I think it was just, you needed a break, you got a break, and you'll get back on it. And I know.
yeah.
um let's talk about summer folio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one. This is my baby project. And how, when I do projects, it was one day that I go, "Hey, Sunny, I'm thinking about doing this. And I told you to think about it a couple of times, and a week later, I already have the graphics and I have
Yeah.
the prompts, and I was like, I'm
Yeah.
actually doing this. So I'm doing this for myself because in summer, and because I no longer have to, it's not like I no longer have to, I always have to get my portfolio revamped. And I've been noticing that, like I haven't put working on the book, and I feel like I'm working on graphics and marketing graphics and other things. And I was like, I need to draw. I need a project that I can draw. And I'm doing book dummies and book dummies behind the scenes, but that's nothing that I can put on my portfolio.
Yeah.
So in this summer, where I know things are going to slow down for me in family life, and schedulings and things like that, I don't want to fall off the wagon and not draw. So I created Summer Folio. And it's a drawing challenge, but as opposed to the drawing challenges I was doing just to keep my hand moving while I was trying to do other things, um, where it's just like a character, and they're just, you kind of reimagine them and draw. And but this is it.
Oh,
Those,
you're talking about draw this in your
yes,
style.
the
Yeah.
draw this in your style.
Yeah.
They're great. Gets you, going. At least
Yeah.
keeps you moving and keeps
Yeah.
you working, but it doesn't really push you too much creatively. I wanted to a drawing challenge that is specific for portfolio pieces. Something
Mm-hmm.
that I can go ahead, and if I do a good job in it, I can go in my website, I can go in my portfolio. So I started Summer Folios, and it's going to run from July 3rd until, let me see, until August 14th. So that is pretty much before school starts again. It runs you through the summer, and it's 7 briefs, 7 weeks. But I already put it out there. It's in my website, it's in my Instagram, so that the prompts are already out there. So you have plenty of time to think about what you're going to do if you're going to join it. But plenty of time to research and to brainstorm, so that,
And decide which ones you want to jump in
yeah,
on.
you don't want to have to do all of them. You don't have to even do what's in there in the prompt. It's just, I'm hoping that this helps somebody. So for example, I'm looking at week 1. It has a prompt. This one says, and that's when the pirates realized that they had taken a wrong turn. It
Mm.
could be human pirates, like it's open, right? So it could be human pirates, it could be animal pirates, it could be kid pirates, it could be grown-up pirates. They have taken a wrong turn. It could mean that they got lost in the ocean, that they lost the map, that they lost.
They
You
got
can do
lost in the supermarket.
right. They walked into the supermarket looking for tuna. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
can go
Yeah.
anywhere with this and
Yeah.
still make it. And and if you don't like pirates, okay, change the word pirates to clowns, whatever you decide. But at least
Mhm.
it's an open-ended because it is super hard to start with a blank piece of paper.
Yeah,
So
the
it gives you a prompt.
prompts really help.
Everything that I did in this one is designed to be super wide open creatively, but with kind of like bouncers on the sides, like big blockers, so that you are not falling off the white page, the
Mhm.
blank page. So you can have some buffers on the side to keep you kind of guided. The specs are a 2-page spread, so you have to be mindful of the gutter. Any dimension, if you want to do it square for a square book, landscape, portrait, that's up to you. If it's going to be a middle grade, a YA, a picture book, that's all up to you. And then I added an extra challenge. You don't have to do the challenge. The challenge is to try to use full color, show environment, and establish a clear background, middle ground, foreground. That's it. And like, if that is too challenging for you, then you don't do it like that. But at least you're working on a gutter. You're working, with a gutter, you're working with several characters, hopefully interacting with each other. And it's not going to be a character looking at the viewer in the middle of the page, nothing
Yeah.
going on.
But that's just for that
That's
one.
just that week. Yeah. Each
Each
week has
week has a
something
different,
different.
yeah.
Week 2, we're going to work on book covers. Week 3, we're doing spots, like a narrative spots. Week 4, I think it's a single page, not a spread, so you don't have to worry about the gutter. But like I said, each week has a different challenge.
Mhm.
Bongo's trying to come into the office. He's like trying to open my door.
No.
The next week, another redesign, a cover redesign. But for example, the cover, I thought about, like, as a challenge, changing the genre. Like if you're
Yeah,
picking a
that's
picture
cool.
book, we'll make it a mystery novel, or like, so it gives you something to something extra to make it extra special.
The
In one of the
covers
book
sound really
covers,
fun.
yeah, in week 6, which starts August 7th, what I have is redesign a book cover. And it says there, you decide if it's a, middle grade. I misspelled it. It says MD Maryland instead of middle grade. I just
Oh.
misspelled it in the thing. A picture book, whatever dimension you want, but age up the characters or age them down. So I was like, Hunger
Cool.
Games at the playground, or
Yeah.
Hansel or Gretel as teenagers. Those were the samples. I think it would be very cool to yeah, just
Mhm.
a little extra, right? And then later on, I have, I think, a 2-page spread as this, or a single one, but change the point of view, and add a vehicle because they're so hard to add a vehicle.
Vehicles.
So there you are. That's, and I hope that I can do this every year, but it's my challenge to myself. The only thing I said for the rules, there are no rules, do you whatever you want. But what I would like to show is, when in Instagram you have like several swipes that you can put several
Mhm.
pictures together,
Yeah.
your final picture, and then a little bit of your thought process. Do you have color samples? Even if it's, pictures that you have, kind of like your collage of pictures, if you're going to have any
Like reference pictures.
reference pictures, right?
Mhm.
Or your sketches. And the
Mhm.
reason why I'm asking for that is so that you force yourself to try different sketches before you jump into your final, different points of view, different ideas, so that you don't go with the first thing that pops into your head, but actually work out different. It's like, okay, like in the first one, if it's the pirates, okay, but what would it look like if the pirates are in the foreground and I'm looking behind them? Or what would it look like if they are in the background and they're coming towards it? Like, try different things, just the little sketches, and
Mhm.
that will help. So that's the whole summer folio. I know I gave like a bunch of things, but that's what I'm excited about. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. You've already started, which
I
is great.
started, yes, and the reason why I started the brainstorming, I haven't done I'm
Mhm.
just want to have my ideas down concrete, is because at the time that this starts, I'm also going to be the cohort mentor, the mentor for the SCBWI cohort for the illustrators.
Yeah.
That one runs from July
6 months.
to December, or I think it's from July to December, which is at the same time the summer folio jumps in.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a little bit of work there.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
much going on.
Yeah, I know it's a lot, but see the CBWI cohort, which I enjoy as a mentoring program, I don't get any work done for me. It's a
Yeah.
mentoring program for others. I'm not opening mentorships, one-on-one mentorships this year yet, until probably after the fall. After the fall, I'll look to see if I open them back up. But like, it's been too much. This whole year has been way too much.
Yeah.
Yes, but the summer folios for me, so that I can come up with some new work on my website. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I am looking forward to. I
No,
spoke.
I'm looking forward to it too. I may not be able to do all of them, but I
Hmm.
definitely want to do some of them.
This reminds me when we were at the. Remember that we worked super hard that summer. I think it was a summer that we
Yeah.
did. We were doing the Mary Poppins ones. We were doing the folk tale. It was just a creative time, and we got a lot of work out, and
Yeah.
it was exciting. It was something to look forward to. We talked about our sketches, and we got. I missed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so hopefully this will get us back into that. And now that we have the Illo chat community, it has I'm loving it. Honestly, I was a little bit like, oh my gosh, another thing to take care of, but it honestly, it has a community, and people are posting, artists are posting their illustrations there and getting feedback from one another.
Hmm.
They
People
have
are
become.
finding critique groups, which is what
Yes.
we were hoping would happen.
Yes, it all that we did was give them a platform, a place to meet up and go, hey,
Hmm.
here you go. And sometimes we jump in and give our 2 cents, or it's just lovely. It's a really nice community.
Yeah.
I I find it very friendly. Nobody's there like shaming anyone or anything. You put whatever you're working on, and you will ask.
Hmm.
If you ask for help, you'll get help. You'll get like a critique partner if you don't have one.
Let's wrap it up.
Yes. All right. See you on the next one. We got some good
Yes.
interviews coming up.
Oh, we do. Thanks for listening. And we really appreciate everyone who's stuck around with us for 2 years.
I know.
It's pretty cool.
Happy beginning of summer.
Yes. Happy beginning of summer. Bye.
Bye.